Welcome to the iTel Network's Workspace Mastery Overview, brought to you by the Health and Safety Committee. Today, we're looking at a holistic blueprint for your total well-being. We are completely rethinking the place where you spend the vast majority of your day, your workspace, and exploring exactly how to transform it from just a place where work happens into an environment that actively protects both your physical health and your peace of mind. Ever feel like the line between your professional and personal life is just completely blurred? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are not alone. In our modern, remote-first world, that incredible flexibility we all love can sometimes make it feel like we never actually leave the office. The dining table becomes the boardroom, and your phone basically becomes a constant stream of notifications. We need to fix that. So let's dive into this and see how this policy actually empowers you to take your time back. Here is our iTel roadmap for today. First, protecting your mental well-being. Second, funding your workspace setup. Third, your practical ergonomics guide. And fourth, office standards and accommodations. Let's jump straight into Section 1, protecting your mental well-being, safeguarding your peace of mind in a remote-first world. What does real work-life balance actually look like in practice? Well, iTel Networks completely rejects the whole always-on availability model. The expectation here is predictable daily hours. We're talking about actually logging off communication channels like Google Chat and email the second your workday ends, and using calendar blocks to signal your deep focus time. Contrast that with what's strongly discouraged. Unless you have a specific on-call agreement, you should absolutely not be responding to non-emergency notifications after hours. Period. We understand that working independently can sometimes feel incredibly isolating, right? But you've got some great actionable tools at your disposal to combat both isolation and burnout. First off, step away from the screen. You literally need to be taking short micro breaks every 30 to 60 minutes just to stretch and reset your eyes. To fight that isolation, flip your video on during team calls. It really helps build those deeper professional relationships. Get involved in the remotely fun space or coordinate virtual meetups. Most importantly, if you ever feel overwhelmed or anxious, utilize the Employee Assistance Program, or EAP. It's completely confidential and available 24/7. Of course, this whole thing falls apart if leadership isn't on board. At iTel, managers are explicitly framed as the guardians of this culture. They're expected to lead by example, which means no working continuously through standard break times. They're actually required to include mental health and workload check-ins during your one-on-ones, not just badger you about project milestones. Most importantly, managers are expected to honor your offline status. If they happen to be working late, they're directed to use Google's Schedule Send feature, so late-night thoughts can be drafted without pinging a team member's phone at 9 p.m. Moving right along to Section 2. Funding your workspace setup, how the company supports your physical environment. So how do we actually pay to build this safe space? Here is your financial cheat sheet, demystifying exactly where to go for what. There is a really flexible, company-funded framework in place. For your primary tools, your laptop, secondary monitors, webcam, headset, keyboard, all that good stuff, iTel provides those directly. For the heavy hitters, the major physical ergonomic equipment like a great adjustable chair or a standing desk, you tap into your lifestyle spending account, or LSA, through the National Health Claim Platform. And for the smaller wellness accessories, like footrests, laptop risers, or memory foam wrist pillows, you can actually just redeem your bucket list reward points for those on Amazon. It is incredibly well structured. Section 3, your practical ergonomics guide. Designing work around the human body. I really want to highlight this quote because it hits the nail on the head regarding the core compassionate philosophy behind everything we're about to discuss. Design work around the human body instead of physically forcing workers to adapt to their environment. You shouldn't be contorting yourself to fit your desk. Your desk needs to yield to you. Why does all this matter so much? Well, if we don't set things up right, we risk developing musculoskeletal disorders, or MSDs. These are conditions affecting your muscles, tendons, or ligaments. If you're dealing with fatigue, weakness, pinching, stiffness, or sharp pain, You might literally be dealing with an MSD caused by a poorly adapted workstation. But don't worry, we're going to fix that right now. This brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're aiming for. Perfect posture. Notice the clean 90-degree angles at the elbows and the knees. Notice the monitor height and the relaxed shoulders. Keep this image in your head because we're about to break down the exact physical mechanics to achieve this, starting with your chair. Let's run through a quick, actionable checklist for your chair. You can try this right now while you're listening. Step 1. Adjust your backrest so it supports the natural hollow of your lower back, reclining just slightly to a 90 to 110-degree angle. Step 2. Set your seat height so your feet are completely flat on the floor, making your thighs parallel to the ground, forming a perfect 90-degree angle at the knee. If your feet don't reach, definitely grab a footrest. And step 3. Check your seat depth. You should have exactly a 2 to 3 finger clearance between the front edge of your seat and the back of your knees. Next up in our rapid-fire checklist, your monitor and laptop. Step 1. Reach your arms straight out. The screen should be exactly 1 arm's length away from you. Step 2. Look straight ahead. Your eyes should be perfectly level with the top edge of the monitor, letting your line of sight angle just naturally downwards. Step 3. Positioning. Center your main monitor directly in front of you. If you rock a dual monitor setup, center both of them in front of you at a slight angle to create a gentle arc. Basically, no extreme neck twisting allowed. Finally, let's lock in that keyboard and mouse alignment. These tips are surprisingly specific, but they are effective. Step 1. Look down at your keyboard. Align the absolute middle of your body with the F6 key. That guarantees you are perfectly centered. Step 2. Keep your wrists completely straight, floating right in line with your forearms, and make sure those forearms are fully supported by your armrests. Step 3. The mouse angle. If you're right-handed, angle the mouse slightly toward 10 o'clock. If you're a lefty, point it toward 2 o'clock. It sounds crazy, but it drastically reduces radial deviation in your wrist. And finally, Section 4. Office standards and accommodations, ensuring support for every unique need. If you work in the physical iTel corporate building, the company takes direct responsibility for maintaining highly specific, commercially graded standards. Desk heights are fixed at a baseline of 737 millimeters or 29 inches. You are guaranteed a minimum retreat clearance, that's the space to push your chair back, of 890 millimeters or 36 inches. All seating comes from approved ergonomic suppliers and features full multi-tilt adjustments. If you sit down at the office and your setup just doesn't feel correctly calibrated to your specific physical profile, you can notify the Health and Safety Committee immediately for an in-person custom adjustment check. But this policy also fully recognizes that standard allowances don't cover every single unique requirement out there. If you have a documented medical condition, chronic pain, or specialized cognitive or physical accessibility needs, the process to get help is super straightforward. Step 1. Identify the need. Step 2. Just reach out to the People and Culture Department to initiate an accommodation request. And Step 3. Participate in periodic reviews. People and Culture, along with the health and safety folks, regularly review these accommodations to ensure everything perfectly aligns with the Canada Labour Code and the absolute best practices in the industry. So, let's leave you with one final provocative thought. You've seen the financial tools available to you. You've learned the physical mechanics of a pain-free posture, and you've seen the organizational boundaries put in place just to protect your mental health. Knowing that your total well-being is genuinely the highest priority here at iTel, how will you redesign your workspace today to protect your posture and your peace of mind? Don't wait until tomorrow. Make one small adjustment right now.